Hi, DeSo. This is Matryoshka and in the eyes of beholders. And today we have a very special guest. It's Daniel Wilson. Hi, Daniel.
Hi, great to be with you.
Thank you. It's great to have you here. If you don't know Daniel, then Daniel is one of the not so famous developers yet on the platform, which is a shame because he's doing amazing things. And we today will introduce you to some of the things that he's working on. Let me show you Daniel's profile on BitCloud or Diamond app. This is Daniel. And Daniel, how many days have you been on the platform?
Oh man, I didn't check today. I didn't check how many days, but it was definitely, so I think early May I joined. And so I wasn't like the first group, I was more like the second wave. So yeah.
I see. And how did you hear about BitCloud? Well, DeSo, but back in the day it was BitCloud.
Yeah, so actually, I was part of a group of founders that it's still around actually. It's called Visualize Value by a guy named Jack Butcher. He was actually on BitCloud in the early days, and he runs this collective of innovators and founders and people who are trying to make money online in different ways. And so I was kind of in his program. And he was one of the first sort of influencers that, was invited onto the platform. And so he just like told the group, I just got this, invitation to this thing called BitClout. And then like, he was like really excited about it and was writing about it and everything. I'm like, oh, that's interesting. But I mean, I wasn't invited. So I heard about it then. And then I just continued to do what I was doing. At that time, I was pretty heavily involved in DeFi. And after a couple of months, I said, I wonder whatever happened with that. And I jumped back in and created an account and realized what it was. And by that point, they had fixed a few of the initial bugs in the system. And so it was pretty seamless for me when I got in.
Nice, very nice. Yeah, for me, when I got in, it was black screen and all of the stuff. You have to go through the special link and stuff. But yeah, thank you. And would you be sharing some of the early projects that you worked on before recently, or like in the early?
Yeah. So when I got on, actually, there were a few ideas that I had, and I actually connected with. So I was really active on Nacho, as you'll remember, and made some good friends on Nacho Average Call, and then actually Zopal and I had an idea to basically take it was called Boost Clout, and basically I had gotten used to Cloutcast, like really familiar with Cloutcast, and I realized there wasn't a lot of people that were familiar with it. So essentially we decided to build it on top of Cloutcast, and we would run the campaigns for everyone. And so we basically created a way where if they own a certain amount of coins, or I don't even remember how it all worked, but we would essentially run campaigns and we could guarantee, so many reclouts for, this amount of money and that kind of stuff. So we ran the campaigns, and Cloutcast loved it, because it's giving them more business. So it's just building something on top of them, and it was fun. It worked for a while. But then, everybody got to know Cloutcast. It was integrated into Clout Feed, and at that point, it didn't make sense to continue, doing that. The second thing was we were preparing for the NFTs to be added, and I had been involved in a few other blockchains and a few other NFT. Like I've been in NFTs since the beginning, basically, and there was one other blockchain that basically had almost free minting, and it's called Tezos.
Mm-hmm.
And I was really active on the Tezos blockchain in the NFT space. What I noticed was that because it was almost free to mint, people were minting absolutely everything. And it was just
pretty much same as on DeSo, right? In the early days of NFTs.
Twitter and Facebook and whatever. And there was a problem because nobody knew who was collecting. Everybody was selling, nobody who was collecting.
Nobody was buying.
Yeah. And so
that sounds familiar.
I know. So I said, I want to get in front of this, and I want to create a place where we will have real collectors, but it will take, it will be sort of a exclusive access. So we created a custom Discord server and we built special bots for it, and it would reveal the, you paste your link and it would like reveal all the metadata. It would reveal the NFT really nicely. And then I contacted a lot of the OGs on here that I knew were collectors. So Fungibles was in there, the Krasensteins were in there. There was a lot of folks that were in there, and they bought a few NFTs, some of them. But in order to get into the server, we created I think the first subscription model for NFTs. So the unlockable content was a code to get into the server. And when you get into the server, it starts a timer and it kicks you out after, I think, 7 days. So basically 7-day access to advertise in front of these collectors before you have to buy another access card to get in. And we actually did pretty well. I mean, I don't remember exactly how many sold, but we sold quite a few. And it was great because people were getting a very private audience to real collectors who, were incentivized to buy in that server. And so I think it went pretty well for a while, but that was before, NFTs, Zone and Polygram and Supernovas, like were all doing their thing. And so we just have recognized, like, we're trying to fill certain gaps. And if what we build doesn't end up lasting, that's okay. There's always another good idea. So.
And I love that about you, that, you don't like dedicate all yourself to one thing and like, this is the only thing I'm building and, I don't care about anything else. Is like this attitude that, like, if it didn't work out, okay, let's build something else and see. And I also love this about this platform because, people create with ways, like you said, what you are doing is basically like, I want to say, like standing in the gap when, you find the need for something that exists on the platform and you create a tool that helps to alleviate or to fill that gap and to do that, which is absolutely amazing. And I love it. And your project that you're working on right now is one of my favorite ones because I remember talking to Dworkin, and for those of you who don't know, Dworkin is also another dev. He's from Russia, and he's actually the only person I knew in person when I joined BitCloud, because we know each other back in Moscow. And I was telling him that I want to have something that would help, with managing your wallet and finding out like whose coin, price rose, whose one fell, who is doing, all of this, because you can find this information, but it's in Block Explorer, the stuff you have to like do a lot amount of work by yourself to find this. So I know that this is what you have created. So do you mind sharing and telling people about the Smart Wallet tool?
Yeah, thank you. Yeah, it's called Smart Wallet, and this is one of several interconnected products that we've been working on for quite a few months. So obviously Dvorkin is the main developer, and he's got a really strong team behind him. And so I'm an official partner with them. And essentially, yeah, Smart Wallet is, it provides a number of things. So it provides safety, right? Because you can set conditions on any of the assets in your wallet that if they drop a certain amount, then you can actually get out of your position, right? So that means that protects you from rug pulls if you're like asleep or not on DeSo or you're at work, and all of a sudden, for whatever reason, everyone starts selling this guy's coin. Maybe they're leaving the platform or something like that, or they rug pull themselves and everybody's trying to get out. You're not like penalized because you weren't on DeSo at that exact moment, right? So it protects you in a certain sense by having that stop loss function. But it also allows you to take profit, right? So you can set certain conditions where if a coin rises a certain percent, then you sell, like 5% of what you own in that coin. And you're just daily taking profit off of coins that are gaining in value. And then that's turned into DeSo. You can reinvest, or you can, buy NFTs. You can do anything with that. And so there are lots of different conditions that basically it's automated wallet management, which is something that we've needed from the very beginning. I've talked to a lot of the OGs on the platform. Even some of them had the idea early on and were either started paying someone to build it or were considering to do it. Like I talked to Raj and I talked to Mario, and they're like, this is something that we've all needed from the very beginning. And it's true, it's making DeSo work for everybody, not just those who can be on it all day, right?
Yeah.
And so if you can manage the assets in your wallet while you're away from DeSo, I feel like that will help with user retention, which is what a lot of our products are actually built to do, is to help retain users who come on, because maybe a lot of people come here and they realize, oh, I put all this money on here. I don't have all day to watch and make
The money,
sure
yes.
it's, yeah. And so the only people that have an edge on DeSo are people who can stay on it all the time. And so that's why I think we deal with retention issues. And so if you have a way to automate management of all the assets that you have in ways that and so even when you're sleeping, even when you're working, you're still able to let DeSo work for you. So that was one of the problems that we were trying to solve with Smart Wallet. So
Yes, and I absolutely love it. And it has like a few other different features that are awesome. So like Daniel said, first of all, if you invest $5 in Matryoshka coin and you don't want to spend, to go every day and check if my coin price went up or down or what is happening with it, then you can just say that if Matryoshka coins go up like 10%, I'm taking 5% off, or whatever you want to set the conditions. Or if somebody decided all of a sudden to sell my coin, then you can also set the not the alarm, but to trigger the thing that once it hits certain amount, you can sell. And then once again, you can choose how much you sell. And then another feature that I absolutely love, which we also very much needed, is selling inactive creator coins, like people who have not been on BitCloud in certain amount
yeah,
of days, months, etc. So you can also set up that I want to sell all the creator coins that have not been active in last 30 days, and then it will give you a list. You can look at the list, choose the one you don't want to sell. And I know that you're adding a vault where you can like store some of your coins safely, and they will never sell them unless you actually take them out of the vault. So for those who want to sell inactive creators but don't want to sell like Articuna or Diamond Hands, or
yep,
somebody who you really really value but who might not necessarily either be on the platform anymore or posting too often, so that you don't accidentally sell those, because that was one of the things I'm like, oh,
that's right.
no, did I just sell Archicuna coin? But I
Don't
didn't,
do
so
it.
it's
Yeah,
all
don't
good.
do it. Yeah, that's right. So inactive creators is another way to free up your DeSo, and it's, I mean, there more and more, like Salil has added some really good functionality to Open Prosper to help you see inactives, but that's one more step, right? I want to check everyone in my wallet, check it with Open Prosper, and see who's been inactive. It's just automated. It's like how, if those who haven't been active in the last so many, you can just set custom amounts. If 1 month is too long for you, 2 months is too long for you, you can decide, I want to sell half of those coins because maybe they'll come back, or all of those coins, and just free up the DeSo. So yeah, just it is like it sounds, smart wallet, just
Yeah.
wallet automation to make life easier for everybody.
Yes, absolutely. Because right now, the only way to actually check it, you have to actually go and see either on Open Prosper or go in your wallet, and like you have to actually remember how much it was before, how much it is now, and like do it all of, which is a lot. And for those of us who don't have the time, like you said, to spend all day on DeSo, but still want to manage your funds in a smarter way, Daniel's tool is for you. Thank you so much.
Exactly.
Thank you,
Yeah.
Daniel. I really, really love this tool. So, I'm so excited that more people are going to get access to it and be able to manage their assets in a smart way. And Daniel, another thing that I wanted to chat with you about, you have done a write-up about the DeSo competitor recently. And this is something that we need to look at the competitors to find what good things they're doing and what we should not be doing. And please share with people about your analysis and your conclusions that you came to.
Yeah, so this is something that I plan to actually do for multiple competitors to DeSo. And so I have a list, and I've been doing some research as to some of the more popular ones, and I'm going through their white papers. I'm even reading terms and conditions, on some of these, right? Going through the list to highlight certain things on the terms and conditions in terms of services that they have for the apps and for the things, in order to pull out. What I did for this recent one, SubSocial is what it's called. I went to Twitter and saw their Twitter engagement and their Twitter handle and the kinds of comments that people are making based on their experience and things that they wish that they could see that are active users of SubSocial, right? So I typically join the platforms. I get some sort of like a firsthand experience about onboarding and about general first impressions and how all things work and all of that. But then I also like to listen to those who have been on the platform for a while to get like a really thorough understanding of how it's going. And I mean, I'm still on DeSo, which means I've not found
A better one.
a better one, right? I'm still on DeSo and building for DeSo. Yeah, I feel like this, and as I said in my first post, this is the intersection of two industries worth over $1 trillion each, right? The intersection of crypto and social. And so it's not a small thing. So I'm really interested to watch how this space develops. And so I'll keep writing reviews. I did a week series where I wrote one post a day on different ways to make money on DeSo.
Yes.
And then I took a break on that to write these reviews. And so I'll write a few more reviews, and then I'll probably get back to writing those tips for making money on DeSo. But yeah, I'm learning a lot. I've only done the one, but I've got the experience. I'm experiencing all the other ones right now. I just haven't written anything about them. But I would say that, I mean, some of them do a really good job, I think, of communicating to new users in their white papers, for instance. They really put a lot of thought into how do we communicate the vision of where we're headed, and they do it in a way that addresses a pain point that those users feel. Because I mean, honestly, I don't think we're in a place yet where decentralization is a pain point that people know they have. So whether or not it's one that they have is a different question. It's what they know that they have in terms of a pain point that needs addressing. And there are a few other projects that do a pretty good job of saying, imagine if, and really giving them a vision of a new experience on social. DeSo does a pretty good job, but there are some of them that do an excellent job. But the flip side is a lot of these projects never reached minimum viable community. And that's one thing DeSo did get to. I feel like with its just crazy launch of BitClout that just went out of control. We've had enough residual enthusiasm and onboarding creators sticking around and a steady flow of structural updates to keep us all excited, to keep us wondering what's going to happen next, to keep building and innovating. I don't know of another project that has the community like DeSo has at this point, which is critical.
Yes, it is, and also one of our favorite things, probably why we're still here, is having the community of developers, creators, and everybody who are working together and who are collaborating and making sure, trying to create the best DeSo ecosystem that we can. Absolutely. You mentioned terms of service in terms of, and I know that just like yesterday, somebody was bringing it up in DeSo Discord, because I remember that I think when they launched DeSo.org, we had at some point, all of us had to sign the terms of services and agree to them. But then apparently now, then new people are registering through like Diamond App or through CloudFeed or for something else. It doesn't show to them, so they don't really actually sign anything, and they don't really know, a lot of them, unless they actually go and research and find that link, like DeSo.org/terms of services, to actually know what is in there, which I like from what you're saying, and in general, I think would be a good idea to be more acceptable to people and for people to read it before they join, so they would understand.
Well, I mean, yeah, the reality is most people don't read those things, right? But for me, it's interesting because I mean, that's what it comes down to when it comes down to decentralized social media, is where's our data going, and what are we signing up for whenever we sign up on this platform, and who's ultimately in control, and what are the long-term implications. I mean, that's where a lot of this critical information sits, and so that's why I'm I'm trying to make an effort on these other platforms to read and say, okay, how are people thinking about this space from a legal perspective, from a centralized, decentralized perspective? So
that's amazing. I'm really grateful to have you, who is really ready and willing, sorry, to go through, terms of services and all of those things, to really analyze thoroughly the entire thing, and not just, your user experience from this perspective. So I really, really applaud you for that. And I'm looking forward to chatting more about other competitors once you will finish your analysis, because I know you're taking it very seriously. And you're not just doing like the stuff on the top. You are diving deep, which is
that's right.
Thank you very much, Daniel. And one of the last things I was going to ask you is there something you would like to share about what you're going to be working on in 2022?
Sure.
I know you mentioned some things and you cannot mention other things, but those that you can mention, please share.
So we have a roadmap that involves 3 or 4 different sort of really significant products that will impact user retention, new users, and then even we're really paying attention to what's happening in the broader crypto Web3 space. And so Dworkin is very intelligent and very well connected. I've been in this for a long time, right, and have been paying attention for a while to how things are developing elsewhere outside of DeSo, and some of the really sort of revolutionary ideas and how to make those things work on DeSo. So we do have some. We have been interviewed by the Octane Fund. We're waiting to hear back from them, but we gave them the full roadmap of what 2022 looks like for us if we are allowed to build everything we want to build, and if we're funded to develop it. And yeah, so I can't say a lot about what that includes. Some of it does include other uses of both creator coins and DAO coins, and so there are a few other exciting things that I can't even tease. But yeah, we're trying our best to pay attention to the broader Web3 ecosystem and say, wait a minute, all that cool stuff really belongs on DeSo, because DeSo is the only thing that solves the social question.
The social part of that.
They did, yeah. They're the only ones that solve the social part well, and the tool set that they've built in these last several months is extraordinary and can be leveraged to bring a lot of the innovation happening in Web3 directly here, and make sort of DeSo front and center in the Web3 revolution that's happening.
Yeah, and that's so exciting. I'm watching right now Pam and Tammy on Hulu, and this is about when the wide web just appeared, and they're talking about this, and I'm having like flashbacks. I'm like, it's like we're going back to that, only an improved version with after everything that has happened, and how to use Web3 to build and do Web3 right now, which is fascinating.
Yeah.
Daniel, would you mind also telling people a few accounts that you would recommend for them to follow on DeSo?
Yeah, I will actually, yes, I will mention a few accounts, but I will also say it depends completely on what you're interested in and the kind of content that you're interested in. So I'm interested in a very, in a narrower set because of what we're doing here. But I will tell your listeners, viewers, about a interesting tool that they can use to help them stay current on the followers that they want to follow. Of course, everyone should follow you, Matreshka. So that would be my top number one recommendation.
Thank you. That's very sweet of you.
But I don't know how many people know about the Chainsurf Discord server. And if you hold a certain amount of Chainsurf coins, at least the last time I checked, I don't know if they've updated their, what their requirement is, you can open up a certain number of trackers, and you can have Chainsurf, you can tell it to track every time these certain followers, these certain creators post something, comment on someone else's post, or buy or sell a coin or have their coin bought and sold, it will track that. And so I have, my list of people that I follow, but
Put the
I
tracker
never,
on.
but I never miss anything they say, not just what they post, but if they comment on someone else's post, because I really value their content and the things that they say. I respect them and just really like everything they say, really like that. I keep coming back to it, and then what I do is I click through and then I go diamond in their post, or you can even diamond it within the Chainsurf Discord server now. So that's what I would tell your listeners is that when you find that sweet spot of people that you really enjoy their content, there's a tool that helps you make sure that you don't miss any of it.
And yeah, that's amazing. We mentioned with Luca Chainsurf, but we are planning to do actually a separate episode on this because it deserves it when all the functionality that it provides to people. And I love, like on Member Cash, you can see those things as well. Not the selling, but the comments and everything that the person does. And it is free, but it doesn't send you notification. So, having a place that actually it can, send you pings when something happens, like if you want to know what another posts on or comments on anybody post, then you can do it, and then you will see it the second it happens, and then you can you can engage. And if he just posted it, maybe he will respond or reply or diamond you. So yeah, thank you. I appreciate it. And the last question that I have. So imagine that you had a magic wand and you can make anything happen, like it's just magic. And you could change one thing on DeSo. You can either add a feature, change something, and like you can even like use your fantasy, whatever you want to do. So what would that one thing be?
I'll mention two things, if that's okay.
Yes.
I number one would love to see the a few things that will come soon, but that would make DAO coins really reach their full potential. I on other chains, on other blockchain, and specifically in the DeFi space, I was watching people create their own tokens, and the different creative options that they were able to that they had with those tokens and what they created there was absolutely fascinating. And I feel like combined with the social component and the ease of creating a token, we could really see a lot of creativity here. And so anybody who's watching who doesn't know what's possible when you have something like this, and you can actually pair it with something like DeSo, to have a liquidity pair of DeSo and a DAO coin, and then have applications. It's really cool stuff. So just doing a deep dive on DeFi, that's what I would love to see. I would really love to see interesting DeFi stuff happen with DAO coins. Secondly, some massive marketing pushes with key influencers that will take us to the next level. That's what I would love to see. A huge, massive marketing pushes that could just let us see the next wave of DeSo users.
Yes, I agree. Both of those things will be amazing with the DAOs, because we don't have any functionality really yet. It's like people are just using their fantasy to make it work, like Slava does with FunDAO, and we're just like creating a ways how to do it manually, but having the more functionality would be absolutely amazing. And for the marketing, I'm sure Fast Freddy is listening, and I know that he's working on quite a few aspects in that. So hopefully we will see some of that really, really soon.
Me too.
Daniel, thank you so very much for coming in here. Unfortunately, my co-host Luca was not able to make it. Let's pray for his health. He's okay, but he will be better and join us again next time. Thank you everybody for watching. Please follow Daniel at the link underneath the video, and we will see you all on DeSo. Thank you so much for coming, Daniel.
Thanks, Patricia.
Bye.